guys, Coach Jennifer here, and we are going to get started with our stretching and our warm-up. So if everybody would like to find a good space around them and sit down in a big straddle. And I have Briley with me today. She's going to be helping us out. So you want nice straight legs, one arm in the middle, one arm up, and over the top. Make sure that your knees are facing up toward the ceiling and that your back is nice and straight and that arm is right over your ear. Pushing your knees into the back of the floor, or into the floor. Step tall, with a hand in the middle and over the top. Same thing, making sure those toes are facing up toward the ceiling. Nice straight legs. And sit up tall, to the middle, stretch out. Try to get your head down, but really focus on making those feet go backwards, little toes to the floor, not big toes. And give me a nice pick. Nice straight legs, pointed toes, push the back of your knees into the floor. Try to reach past your toes. If you can't quite get past your toes, then grab the bottoms of your feet or your ankles. And nose facing your knees. Really focus on keeping those feet together and your legs straight. Flex those feet, pull your heels off the floor. Same thing, if you can't quite touch your toes, just reach as far as you can and flex those feet. Give me a nice butterfly, feet together. And then slide those feet out just a little in front of you, and we're going to do nose to our toes. And if you can take your elbows and push your knees down, which gives you a little bit more of a stretch. And sit up tall. Arm across their body, underneath, and pull. Now make sure you have that arm nice and high. You don't want it too low and you don't want it too high. You just want it straight across your body. You should feel a stretch up here in your shoulder. And switch. Other arm across your body, underneath, and pull. Same thing, make sure it's even, straight across your body, not too high, not too low. And behind your head, grab that elbow and pull. And switch. And swing out. I'm going to have everybody sit on your knees. Make sure you're sitting back on your heels. When you stretch your wrist, you don't want to lean up like this. You actually want to stay sitting on your heels. And we're going to do fingers facing our knees first and press down. And try to get your wrist to go all the way to the floor. fingers facing the same direction. Nice straight arms, and we're going to rock side to side. Again, make sure that wrist is going all the way down to the floor. You don't want to be leaning it like this. And just rock side to side. And wrist to wrist. Same thing, rock side to side. And make sure those palms are all the way on the floor. You don't want to be too high with your palms. Get ready for our splits. So I want to make sure that you guys are up on your knees and put your leg out in front of you. Make sure it is even with your back leg. You don't want it too far out to the side or too far over. Just make sure it's right in front. And you guys are going to do it one hand on each side and go ahead and slide into your splits. Make sure your back knee is tucked under and that your leg is straight, toes are pointed. Very nice. And the chest lifted nice and high. And if you can't go all the way down, you guys can always do a little bit of a bounce in your split, just like that, and that'll kind of help you get a little bit more of a stretch. Good split. And then arms up, and we're going to hold for 3. 1, 2, 3. And bring those legs together, shake them out. Then we're going to start back on our knees again, and we're going to put our other leg out in front. Make sure it's even with our back knee, one hand on each side, and slide into your splits. And the same thing, make sure you keep that back leg tucked under. You don't want it leaning out to the side. You want your knee on the floor and the top of your foot in the back on the floor. And then same thing, if you can't go all the way down, just do a couple of bounces, just to kind of get a little extra stretch. Make sure your heel is the only thing on the floor in the front, and you want to try to point it. And we're going to do arms up. Ready? And hold. 1, 2, 3. Jump. And bring those legs together and shake them out. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is our middle splits. So you guys are just going to start in a big straddle, and you're going to let your feet slide straight out to the side. Now remember, you want the sides of your feet on the floor only when you're doing your middle splits. There we go. And then try to point those toes if you can, and elbows to the floor. Now make sure that you guys are right on top of your splits, that you're not too far forward or too far back. Your bottom should never touch the floor in the middle splits. So if your bottom is touching the floor right now, you probably need to move forward just a little bit more, okay? Alright, and then we're going to do our chest to the floor for 3. So you're going to chest down and hold. 1, 2, 3. And then bring those legs together and shake them out. You guys ready for your bridges? So you're going to land your back. I'm going to have Bradley come out here in front so you guys can see your bridge. And you guys are just first time, so we're going to land our back to bridge up. So everybody lay down. Make sure your fingers are facing your heels and bridge up. And you want to make sure that your feet are flat on the floor and that all of your fingers are facing those heels. And come down, knock it up. I'm going to do a straight leg too if you want to take your socks off. For those of you at home, if you're wearing socks, you might want to take them off for this next bridge. We're going to do a straight leg bridge. So your feet are going to be together and you're going to try to extend your legs straight. So Bradley's going to show you guys. And she pushes it. She's going to show you again. There you go. And then you just want to push those legs nice and straight and try to get your chest over your wrists. You guys need good chest flexibility to get those kickovers and back walkovers. So this is a good bridge to work on to get that flexibility that you need for those kickovers and back walkovers. Very nice. And go ahead, come down and rock it out, guys. All right, and we're going to do our last bridge. And everybody's just going to kind of bridge up. And if you can, I want you to try to lift up one leg. Or you can straighten it in the air if you want, either way. And switch if you can. Remember, make sure you have nice strong arms before you start trying to lift limbs. And if you can, lift up one arm, put it on your belly. And switch if you can. And our fun, tricky one arm, one leg. Opposites, guys. So opposite leg to opposite arm. Very good. All right, come down and rock it out, guys. Good job. And everybody, I want you to make sure you have all your space, and we're going to get ready to start our line drills. So I'm going to have Bradley come back up here against the wall, and she's going to do them forwards and backwards for you so you guys can see what exactly we're doing, and I'm just going to give you guys some corrections so you know what to fix while you're at home. So the first thing we're going to start with is our rebounds. We want our toes together, heels together, and arms above our ears. And you're just going to do your rebounds all the way down. So make sure you're pushing through your toes, pointing them. Keep those arms nice and straight. And then I'm going to have her go backwards. So you guys are going to face the same direction you were just facing. And you're going to go backwards. Pushing through those toes and squeezing. Watch your heels. I know your heels like to come apart when you do these, so you're really going to have to think about it when you're squeezing. There we go. And then if you guys don't have the space at home to go in a line with us, you can always do, this week I say I do 15 in place. So if you're just standing in place, then just sit there and do 15. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is our frog jumps. So you guys are going to go all the way down and jump all the way up, reaching up to the ceiling when you guys jump up. I don't want you guys doing frog jumps like this, because this makes you keep your chest down, and we don't want that. We want you to lift with your chest. So Bradley's going to go ahead and do some forwards and backwards for you. Watch how she points her toes off the floor. She reaches up nice and high. Very nice. And then she's going to do some backwards. And backwards is tricky. You really have to think about it, otherwise it'll mess you up. Okay. Alright, next thing we're going to do is our cartwheels. So you guys are going to start in a lunge, and you're just going to start off with regular cartwheels. So from a lunge to a lunge. Ready? Very nice. Make sure you're kicking those back legs and pointing those toes. Really hitting your lunges and making those arms come right up to your ears. That's good. And then I'm going to have her go ahead and come back. Very nice. And make sure you keep those legs nice and straight and you point your toes. Alright, we're going to do our handstand series. Now, last week we changed our handstand series a little bit because it's harder to do handstand forward rolls at home. So we switched it to the handstand, split, step out. So Riley's going to do a series for us. She's going to do handstand, step out, handstand, snap down, handstand, split, step out. Okay? So kick that back leg out. Make sure your feet are coming together at the top. Big kicks. Nice save. And then here, handstand, and step. Okay, but actually I want you guys to go up and hit the handstand and then split on top. Okay, so we're going to do it one more time. So she's going to hit her handstand and then split. Oh, but she wants to try to hold it, so you're going to have to really get a good grasp in your back. Alright, and then have her do it one more time, so the whole series one more time. Handstand, step out. handstand, snap down. Handstand, split, step out. Just like that. Very nice. And then I'm going to have her walk backwards. And you guys can go ahead and do your series back or do 15 in place. Yeah. Now, to switch it up just a little, we're going to do a cartwheel to a capital T. I believe we did these last week with this group. So I'm going to have Riley do it from the side. And she's going to do a cartwheel going that way, and she's going to land in a capital T just like that. All right? Ooh, and lift up. Now it's going to take lots of tummy control and lots of leg control to nail these cartwheels, okay? So just going to do one more for you. Woo. There you go. Lots of body control, okay? And then she can turn this way and go ahead and do a couple more down. And make sure you guys do them all the way down or 15 in place. Alright, and also watch those arms. You don't want them to get into the habit of making them go too wide. So make sure that when you're coming down that cartwheel, you're squeezing those ears, okay? Alright, and then we are going to take a quick water break and then we'll get back to our workout. Alright guys, we are back from our water break and we are going to get started with our level 2 gymnastics. So today, well the last couple weeks we kind of went over the skills for the level 2 gymnastics. So today we're just going to kind of go over the routine again. We are going to leave out a couple things that are just kind of hard to do on this floor, like the backward pike roll, where we'll say it but we're not going to do it. And then also, I was going to say. So anyways, so we're just going to get started and we're just going to try to make it as easy as possible, but for you guys at home that have been learning the routine, just to kind of make sure that you guys are doing it right, okay? So we're going to start right here in the back. And thumbs up. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do our step kick handstand. When you do your step kick handstand, you want to step with your bad leg. So I am a righty, so I would step with my left leg. However, if you are a lefty, you want to step with your right leg, okay? So you're going to start arms down, and it's just step, and when you kick, make sure those arms come up to your ears and you hit your lunge. Okay? And do a nice step. Alright, so we're going to do that. So we're going to feet together, palms back, and step with your bad leg, kick, hands down. Back to your lunge. And from here, you're just going to drop your arms and take 2 steps into a run, hurdle, round. Yes. Right. And I'm going to have her bring it back. So you can go over it one more time. So feet together. And step, kick, hands down. Back to your lunge and run, run, run. Round off, and prance, prance, prance. Now we're skipping the backward pike roll, so we're just going to sit into our candlestick. So go down, and candlestick, sit to finish. Right. Right. And Riley is still over a level gymnast, so she's way past this. So, anyways, when you do your candlestick, so you're going to sit down, you're going to candlestick up, and then just sit to pike to a big finish on top. And then lay back, bridge up. And lift up on that. Okay. And if you can kick over, you can go ahead and kick over at home, but if you're still working on it, we're just going to work on just lifting up that one leg just to get used to it, okay? So we're going to go ahead and come back. And feet together. Remember, step with your bad leg. Step, arms to your ears. Handstand. And run, run, run. Round up. Make sure you hit it, and then run, 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 round off. Prance, prance, prance. Backward pike roll, which we're not doing. It's candlestick. Sit to finish. Lay back. Bridge up. Lift. Or kick over if you can. Alright? And you will do that though. Now remember, if you do go ahead and kick over, make sure you kick over and really hit that lunge to here, because for the next step that comes after that, you're going to need that lunge. Which we're going to go over the next step next week. But for this week, we're just really trying to perfect that first part. And like I said, if you do have enough room to do the backward roll, go ahead and add the backward pike roll after the roundout. So Bradley's going to go ahead and go through and kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. So she's going to go step, kick, handstand. Step, kick, okay. Handstand. Run, 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 round off. Prance, prance, prance. And then, ooh, sweet word a little. She was too long. And then she's going to do a backward pike roll. Straight legs. Like a pike. Yeah, it's a straight leg roll. There you go. Try to use straight legs, pulling up nice and tall, and then it's your candlestick. So if you have room or the space or the mats to do your backward roll, go ahead and add that backward pike roll to your candlestick, or before your candlestick. And make sure that when you're rolling out of it, guys, that you're pushing through those arms and you're locking out your knees to a straight stand. Okay, you don't want to bend them at all. It's a straight leg roll. Okay, and then candlestick. Yep, and then bridge up. And lift or kick over. Hitting a lunge. Very nice. Alright, and then I'm going to have Bradley come back. So remember, girls, I want you guys to do that 8 times in a row. You're going to start feet together, step with your bad foot. When you kick, make sure those arms come up with your leg, okay? So you'll start arms at your side. It'll be step, kick, handstand. Okay? And if you are forgetting to do the step kick with the arms, I know it can be tricky, you can just do the step kick all the way down the floor until you get used to it. So you can just go here, and you can go step, kick. Put your feet together, and then drop your arms. And then step, kick. Put your feet together and drop your arms, okay? Just so you can get used to it so it all has a nice timing to it, okay? And one more time. Feet together, and step, kick, handstand. Step out, run, 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 round up. Prance, prance, prance. Backward pike roll it if you can. Candlestick. Sit to finish. And then bridge up, lift your leg, or bridge up, kick over. I would just lift your leg.
Yeah.
We don't want her kicking the camera. Okay. Very nice. So do 8 of this. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to our beam workout. For beam, if you have enough space, go ahead and kind of give yourself a little bit of extra space because we're going to kind of warm up before we go into the beam routine. So we're just going to do releve walks to start. I want you guys in high releve, feet one foot in the other, and just come and walk like you're walking on a beam. Now remember, don't bend your knees, okay? You want to keep them locked out and nice and straight and high up on those toes, okay? As you're walking, and once you get to the end of your beam, or whatever it is that you're using, you're just going to go ahead and go backwards. Doing the same thing, keeping it stretched up nice and tall, stepping, staying on your beam, kind of feel for it under your feet so you know you're stepping on it. And just really staying on those high toes until you get to the end. And then you kind of shake it out because you know your legs are probably dying. And the next thing we're going to do is passes. So for passes, oh, this is a little too deep. So we're going to go, you're just going to step forward and passe, hold. And then point, step, passe. Point, step, passe. Right? And we're just going to pop those down. And the reason why I like to do this is because in your beam routine, you come from a lunge and you'll go passe, and then you step forward for your lock, for your turn. So I like to have you guys just go ahead and work on just hitting it and getting ready for that point, okay? And just to work on ankle strength, we're going to turn around, and going backwards, we're going to stay on our toes the whole time, and we're going to do it again. So we're just going to go up, up, touch, just really keeping that balance. Very nice, Bradley. And keeping those shoulders back, lifting up nice and tall. And really working those ankles. Alright? So we're going to do some stretch jumps. And normally we do stretch jumps just to get courage on the beam. But we're going to do here just to get a good stretch up. Difference between a stretch jump and a straight jump is a stretch jump goes forward and a straight jump goes up. Okay, so we're going to stretch them out, and I want you to jump as far as you can. Whoop, sorry. But when you guys jump forward, try not to land like this. Okay, I want you guys to keep your bottoms tucked under and arms up at our ears. Okay, because you want to hit that nice position. Good. Here we go. And big stretch, just really reach up. And turn around. And I want to go ahead and have you guys do it backwards. So just a big stretch. Whew. Oh, like I did. And again. Good. Nice body position. Okay, I'm going to have her do it from the side just so you guys can see her stretch and her landing. Great. Good. Okay, so she stretched it out and then she tucked it under. Good and quick. Alright. And now we're going to go ahead and work on our beam a little. So, for level 2, last week I had you guys work on the straddle holds. So I would like you guys to continue to do those, but we're not in, I'll just go over them really quick just so you guys can remember. But it was just the straddle hold, so you hold 1, 2, or try to hold for 3. Just really pushing up. Okay? So I want you guys to go ahead and do 5 of those today, and just hold them for as long as you can. They don't have to be for 2 seconds or 3 seconds, but like if you can hold it for 10 seconds, hold it for 10 seconds, okay? You just want to get that strength in your arms, okay? But for being today, we're going to start in a squat. So, as you know, when you guys get ready to mount onto the beam, your legs straddle, and you come to this position. Then you want to go straight back, arms up, stand up, high releve. And then when you pose, your arms will drop to the side and your foot will point forward. And then you'll point back, and arabesque. Hold, 1, 2, touch. Okay, now remember the difference between your arabesque and your levers and your needles are in your arabesque, your chest stays up, and your levers and your needles, your chest drops. Okay, so just remember to keep that chest nice and high for your lever. Hold for 2, 1, 2, touch. Then back foot steps, back foot kicks, arm comes to your ears. Boom, feet together. And then your other foot will kick backwards, feet together. Drop to a little pose, kind of like a little squat. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll go now. So you just did your squat, arms up, stand up, high releve, hold, and pose. Point back, lift, hold, 1, 2, touch, back foot steps, back foot kicks, feet together, kick back, feet together, pose, and releve. And then you should step forward with your good foot. Now, we already did our needles last week, so we're just going to kind of skip through it today, just so we can get to the routine. So we're going to pretend we did our needle, boop, boop, okay? And from here, we're going to go to our passe. So that back foot's going to come in, boom. Which is what I said, and then here, it'll point forward. And as it points forward, you want your arms to drop, okay? So you're going here, you're going to go down, and then lock to your releve. Perfect. Well, do his pivots. So again, from your lunge, so we just did our pose, releve, step to lunge. Then you're going to needle and passe. Then So we're just going to start down, just so you guys can get it. Arms up, stand up, high releve, pose. Point back, hold, 1, 2, touch. Back foot steps, back foot kicks, feet together, kick back, feet together, pose, releve. Then you'll step forward to your lunge. And both. Arms down, step up, pivot. Alright? And you will do it 8 times. Okay? Just really working on it. And listen to the way I say I've worked really hard on getting the way that I say it so that it's easier for kids to understand the way I say it. So if you have to go back and listen to it again, the way that I say it kind of breaks it down easier than anywhere else you would hear it broke down. So, because normally when you hear it, they say, you know, arabesque, and then they'll say step, kick, pose, you know, but really kids don't understand that, so sometimes they'll try to kick with their front foot first, or kick with their front foot to go backwards, or kick with the same foot going forwards and backwards, which we don't want any of that. So make sure that you guys are really listening to the way that I say it, because I say it the way you should be kicking. So, for instance, with your arabesque touch, I always say back foot steps, back foot kicks, up, and then the other foot kicks back. Woo. So it's the opposite, and your girls that have been doing this routine know that it's the opposite leg that kicks back. And if they don't, well, now you do. So, opposite leg that kicks back. Feet together, pose, releve. Good foot should be stepping forward to your lunge. And then let's go ahead and do the needle. Needle. Back to your lunge. Passe. Down. Up. Turn. Alright? So make sure you guys do this 8 times. And really just work through it and slow it down as many times as you need to. And if you need to have mom, dad, grandma, or somebody watch you do it so that they can also make sure that you're nailing everything the way you should. Alright, and we're going to take a quick water break real fast, and then we'll come back for our end of class workout. Okay guys, we're back from our water break, and we are going to do our end of class workout. I'm going to go ahead and do level 1 and level 2 together for this one, just because they have the same amount of numbers when it comes to all the skills that we're going to be doing to work out. So, I'm going to pop. First thing we're going to do is our push-ups. Now you guys are going to do 10 push-ups. You want to make sure that your backs are nice and straight and that you're pushing down. Last week I had Carissa with me, and I showed you guys a good way to help your gymnasts, you know, just to kind of hold their hips a little, to kind of keep them up if they have a problem of drooping in. Now Briley doesn't have that problem, but just remember, if your child is kind of drooping in a little bit, just kind of hold her or his hips up a little bit, just so they can get an idea of where their body shape needs to be. And you guys are just going to do 10. So really just push down and try to go all the way down. If you have to stop in between each push-up, in between your sets, that's okay. Just make sure that you nail all 10. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is our tug-ups. So you're going to lay back in a hollow body position. You can keep your feet off the floor and your shoulders off the floor. And she's going to tug up. Pull out. Very nice. Now you can do these quickly or you can do them slowly, whichever way. Just make sure that your heels and your shoulders do not touch the floor. And you're going to do 10 of these, or 15 of these, sorry. So, but try to keep your feet together as well and your knees together. It helps your body remember the technique that you need for when you're doing skills. So that way when you're popping handstand, your legs automatically go straight in your toes point instead of you having to think about it. So just think about it when you're stretching and working out and doing everything. Okay, and the next thing is jumping jacks. So these guys are super easy. Everybody knows how to do jumping jacks, right? So she's going to go ahead. You'll do 15, and you're just going to push up through your toes. Now, another thing you can do to kind of work on these is when you're jumping to really point your toes off the floor as you're jumping up out of your jumping jacks, and that just makes it a little bit harder. And it strengthens your ankles, which is really what you want. You need strong ankles, which we went over on the Alright, and the next thing we are going to do is squats. Now, for level 1s and level 2s, I would prefer you guys to do them against the wall, just because it kind of gives you a little bit more balance, because I'm not there to really help you, and I know I have a couple chairs. So, just make sure that you try to keep those backs against the wall and that your feet stay flat. And when you're squatting, you want to come down and then you go all the way back up. Now your arms can be straight out in front of you, or you can put them on your shoulders. I do ask that you don't let your gymnasts put their hands on their hips, because once they get so low, they can actually resist against their body and it doesn't stretch. So definitely keep hands off the hips. You guys will do 15, just squatting down, keeping those feet nice and flat, and really just hitting it. Going as low as you can. Knees are popping. Alright, and just make sure you really try to do it all in one sitting as well. And flutter kicks. So the next thing we're going to do is flutter kicks. So again, with the hollow body position, you want to keep your feet off the floor, your shoulders off the floor, and you're just going to flutter those feet. And they're going to do it for 15 seconds. So you just want to count to 15 as they do it, and flutter. They can do it fast, they can do it slow. Just make sure their shoulders are off the floor and heels are off the floor. There you go. This should be super easy for them. If it's too easy for you, like if you say, oh, I just did that and I didn't feel anything, well, go ahead and do some more until you feel it, okay? Because you want to get the workout. If you're not getting the workout, then you have to push yourself a little bit further. Alright, and let's go ahead and do our candlestick hops. So again, with the candlestick hops, you want to think about your form, keeping those feet together and pointing your toes off the floor. She's going to go ahead and go down to her candlestick, and then she's going to pop up to a good hop. Alright, and pointing those toes off the floor as you do it, keeping your feet and heels together. You guys are going to do 15 of these. Now, if you don't have a soft mat at home, then it's going to take a lot more control when you're doing these. So as you sit down, you don't want to just fall into the floor like you normally would here at the gym, because there's not a cushion underneath you. Now, earlier, Briley said that a blanket helps a lot with the back. So you guys, if you have some thick blankets, you can fold them up and lay them out underneath you, and that will kind of give you a little extra cushion on top of whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so just make sure that you do all of them. Okay, remember, no cheating. And last but not least, we are going to do some releve holds. So you want puzzle feet, which is one foot slightly in front of the other, arms above our ears, and we're going to push up to our toes. You guys are going to push up as tall as you can, and I want you to hold it for 30 seconds. Sorry. So you're just going to hold, or 25. We're going to do 30. And try not to, yep, there she goes. So just make sure those feet are slightly in front of the other, and then you're trying not to have too much wobbliness happening in your ankles like that, okay? You want to try to control it. And then kind of give it a good shake out. And then, again, we're going to do 3 of them. So this is our second one, holding for 30. Staying high up on those toes and really keeping your balance. Think about squeezing your bottom, squeezing those ears, and tummy muscles. And you want a really nice forced arch. If you guys know, like this isn't a forced arch. Like when you go up and when you go up on your toe and you see how my foot arches like that, that is a forced arch, and that's why we call it a forced arch. So you just want to make sure that you're all the way up and not too low onto the back of your foot. Alright, sorry. She's so quick. And then we're going to a lot today, and I can already tell you just from what she's done today, her ankles are already looking a little bit stronger. So.
Also, if it helps, you can like try to, like, I don't know, but like reach as high as you can to get more of a releve if that helps you.
Yeah. You want to pull all the way up through your body. So what she's saying is you guys just want to reach for the ceiling as tall as you can, okay? All right. Good point. All right. And the last thing we're going to do is our releves. So these are just really just kind of work on movement and to also strengthen our ankles. You will do feet together, and your hands on hips, and you'll just do 25 just releves. Now make sure that you're going all the way up on your toes for your releves. You don't want to just go like this, okay, because that doesn't do anything. So go all the way up. You'll do 25 feet together, and then you will do 25 on each foot. So you can do here, and just go up, or you can stick it forward, and go up. It doesn't matter where the extra leg is. Just make sure it's not touching the floor. And then pull all the way up. Now it's a little bit harder on one foot. So like I said, make sure that you're really pushing all the way up to that forced arch. A little bit higher. You know, a little bit higher. There you go. Especially on your back foot, okay? And you'll notice you'll probably get a little bit higher on your good foot and a little bit quicker on your good foot other than your back foot. And that's just gymnastics. Alright, so make sure that you guys do 25 on each feet. That's feet together, popping up, and then one on each foot. Alright? And please do this a couple times this week, not just today. Do it at least 2 times this week. And if you have any questions or anything, I'm sure you can leave it in the comments, and Coach Josh or I will get back to you. Thank you guys. Bye.